Japan's economy is currently facing severe challenges, with stagflation, a combination of economic stagnation and inflation, putting immense pressure on the daily lives of its citizens. The depreciation of the yen, known as yen weakening, has further exacerbated these problems, leading to rising prices and stagnant wages, ultimately intensifying the struggles of the average household. Today, we will explore how Japan reached this point and what steps could be taken to overcome these difficulties. In recent months, Japan's economic indicators have painted a grim picture. The Cabinet Office's GDP report for the first quarter of 2024 revealed an annualized contraction of 2.0, highlighting the depth of the economic downturn. Consumer spending, a key driver of growth, has been on a continuous decline, and inflationary pressures are making it increasingly difficult for households to maintain their purchasing power. Real wages, adjusted for inflation, have remained in negative territory for 24 consecutive months, reflecting a dire situation where wages fail to keep up with rising costs. Food prices, a critical component of household expenses, have been significantly impacted by the yen's depreciation. Japan, heavily reliant on imports for staples such as coffee, bread, pasta, and even beef, has seen the cost of these goods surge. This has forced households to cut back on discretionary spending, including clothing, electronics, and other non-essential items, leading to an overall decline in consumer activity. Additionally, the prices of everyday electronic devices such as smartphones, TVs, and home appliances have continued to rise, further straining household budgets. The housing market has added another layer of complexity to the economic crisis. Real estate prices, especially in urban areas, have soared to unprecedented levels. For instance, the average price of a new apartment in the Tokyo metropolitan area reached 81.1 million yen in 2023, representing a 28.8% year-on-year increase. Such exorbitant prices have pushed homeownership out of reach for many citizens, resulting in a sharp decline in housing investments. This downturn in the real estate sector has contributed to the broader economic stagnation. While inflation was initially attributed to rising energy and commodity prices, it has become increasingly clear that monetary policies have played a significant role. The Bank of Japan's extensive quantitative easing measures have flooded the market with excess liquidity, driving up asset prices and fueling speculative investments in real estate and the stock market. Despite these measures, wage growth has remained sluggish, leaving workers struggling to cope with the rising cost of living. The stock market's recent gains, attributed to the weakening yen, do not reflect real economic growth, but rather an adjustment to the depreciated currency's diminished value. Addressing these challenges requires a multifaceted approach. First, improving productivity and creating higher value-added industries are essential to increasing wages sustainably. This could involve fostering innovation, supporting small and medium-sized enterprises, and reforming labor practices to encourage skill development. Second, the government must exercise caution in its fiscal spending. Simply expanding fiscal expenditures to stimulate the economy may exacerbate inflation without addressing underlying structural issues. Instead, targeted investments in infrastructure, education, and technology could provide long-term benefits. Finally, financial education and support are critical, particularly for younger generations who face mounting debt burdens and limited savings. Educating the public on inflation, budgeting, and sustainable financial planning could help individuals make better economic decisions. Japan's economy is at a crossroads, facing the dual challenge of addressing immediate economic pressures while laying the groundwork for sustainable growth. Although the current situation is dire, it also presents an opportunity for transformation. By focusing on structural reforms and long-term solutions, Japan can not only recover from its current struggles, but also emerge as a stronger and more resilient economy. Let us watch closely as Japan navigates this challenging yet pivotal moment in its economic history.